What's up, everybody? My name is Justin Ortiz, and this is
Ham Fender.
And we're here with Natalie Perkins and Lauren DiFrank. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. What's the podcast name?
Oh, the podcast name is Keeping It Loco.
Oh,
sorry,
Loco.
Keeping It Loco with Pam and Justin. So we're super excited to have you guys. They are the owners of Ballerina and also the founders of Hive. So let's just start with you guys just introducing yourself, elaborate on kind of what I said, and we'll start there.
Yeah, so I'm Natalie Perkins. I founded Ballerina 13 years ago, seems like an eternity, and we have lived all over the U.S., but most recently moved to Charlotte and opened a couple studio locations here. Lauren is one of the owners of those, and we've been personal friends for years, so starting Hive together was just like the next natural step.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I've been in Charlotte for 15 years. I decided to come down here for college. So when Natalie moved to Charlotte, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to open up Ballerina. And then Hive just came to be, and we were just so excited about it.
That's awesome. So,
how did they become friends?
Funny story.
How did they become friends?
So we met through Lauren's husband. I had known him, me and my husband had known him since college.
Oh.
And so we had been friends for 20 plus years.
Wow.
And then he brought Lauren into our life, and
You guys gave the blessing?
100%. No, that's a lie. We didn't really know you when we got married. So
No.
we were like,
Are you already lying on this podcast?
No, it was just
It
like
seems
we didn't.
we've been friends for longer, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that's how we became friends, and it's been a lot of ups and downs, family-wise.
Oh, yeah. But it was funny because my
life
husband...
cycles, right?
Oh, yeah. And like my husband would always joke and say like, well, those were my friends. You took them from me. And I was like, well, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
I am now number one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here at Ballerina right now. Talk to me about what Ballerina is. What do you guys do here?
Yeah, so we started the studio, like I said, 13 years ago, and it's a boutique dance studio concept where we quite literally have a boutique in the front of each of our stores, but we also see kids from 18 months to 8 years old, and we host storybook themed dance classes. So all of our classes are storybook themed. They start with a story, they end with dress up to the character that we've talked about in that story, and they learn dance very visually, kind of acting out the story. But more importantly than just teaching dance, the whole goal of the studio was to really empower little kids, primarily little girls, to know that they have another place in their community that is a safe space where they have incredibly positive role models and their teachers, and they can just feel comfortable in their own skin and in who they are, and want to come back every week. We're giving something they want to come back to every week. And so I think that the transition from this focus on empowering little girls, right? And now we have kids who have been with us long enough that now they're coming back as teenagers to work for us. And they're like, this was just my happy place, And so now I want to work there. And now we're empowering women as franchise owners in this opportunity. So then continuing that trend sort of into another venture, into Hive, I think is kind of what inspired it and is really like filling our cup in doing it.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And before I was a franchise owner, I was a third grade teacher for 10 years, and I was feeling really burnt out. I didn't think I had any skills to leave teaching. And when Natalie and I started talking, or my husband's like, Lauren, you need to check out Ballerina. And then Natalie and I started talking. She was like, no, you have all of these skills. And so being lifted up and coached through the franchise and working with all of the franchise owners has truly been life-changing. And now I've completely reset up my life for success, where I would have been where I thought I had to be just stuck in a classroom forever.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's transition over to the Hive, the Hive. Because
I'm very excited about that.
That all derived from what you guys are doing here at Ballerina. Like, tell the people like what that's all about. That's really awesome.
So we are about to launch Hive local collectives in about 11 different states. So we're really excited about that. These 11 are just the beginning, and then it'll be basically in every city and town around the country.
Yeah.
But each local collective will host in-person events, which we call our signature events, once a month. And they're meant to bring everybody from teenage girls to women in their like 40s together for fun, just social activities. And it could be a learning experience, like a vision board workshop. We've hosted braid boot camps, we've done all kinds of things like that. And it could be just partnering with local businesses to give them something really fun to do, meet other women. We also host ongoing groups that happen like on a monthly basis. So we have a really robust business owner get together, female business owner get together, or girl boss get together once a month. In other local collectives, that might be a book club, that might be a toddler play date, depending on that. And then we also host pop-up shopping events a couple times a year that are really, really awesome. Fun, like the funnest day out you can have with your girlfriends.
So with talking about that, a lot of people, we are local to Charlotte, and with what you're doing, it really fills kind of a void because there's so transient people. And I know you talked about that a little bit, but there's a lot of women that move to the area that just don't have friends. That's what you're saying. Yeah. And this is an opportunity for them to be able to meet new people, and it's not a networking group. Natalie hugs everybody. She's already warned. She hugs everybody. But there, as a local realtor, people do ask. They're like, where do I find people? And, of course I say meetup.com, and they're just like, whoa. I'm like, no, that's just kind of how people naturally, progress. But now here's a really good opportunity for them to be empowered, alone, find their people. And I say their people because there's so many people that you're working with, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like you don't have to be a business owner to be a part of this or whatever. Right. It could just be to meet other people. And oftentimes, like I find that like in local Facebook groups, you see moms trying to put themselves out there, and they're like, I need to meet friends. Yes. I'm new to the area.
Oh, yeah, and they said something like, hey, who wants to do dinner club, or who wants to go out to eat?
And it's like, that's great, but some of that never moves offline. Right. Because there's still that little bit of like
hesitation.
Yes. It's like, even though we're adults, there's that angst to being like, ooh, new people, and so just putting it together and being like, come to this.
As well. Another hard part.
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes, and I feel like in different stages of my life, I've needed I thought I had a really good group of friends in college, and we're still friends, but now we're all in different parts of our lives. So when I had my son, I was a new mom. You're all of a sudden looking for friends, like new friends that are that age and going through the same things in life as you.
Well, you want play dates,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah. Play date for me, play date for for the toddler, and so it's having a Girl Hive and having these groups gives that opportunity to and a time and a place to meet up and do something new.
So I know that we were talking before we got started about people coming and feeling that anxiety because they thought there would be 100-something people. But you guys really do kind of want to work with a smaller groups of people, right?
Yeah, we host, all of our workshops are pretty intimate, and our get-togethers are too. You're never walking into a group of 100 people. I mean, our shopping events are big, but that's something you're kind of shopping with a friend or whatever. But the monthly events, they're small. They're an opportunity to, like I said, come and learn something new, have an experience. You can bring a friend, but we do see people kind of come in a little bit apprehensive. They literally tiptoe in. They're like, I'm not sure what I signed up for. And that's fine. It's always scary to come and meet new people and try something new.
I kind of wish we had a visual on that. Someone's tiptoeing and then you're just grabbing and hugging.
I literally am like, no, welcome.
Make them
because
feel at home.
You can sense their, hesitation and anxiety about it, and I want to make them feel at home,
right?
And let them know they're in the right place. They're going to love the next, 2 hours of their life.
How did you guys build this network? So getting people to come to an event is hard in itself. So how were you guys able to build this network of people to come?
A lot of it was just through local Facebook groups. Because I literally think there is just this hole in the market to say, here's an event that you can come to. We are hosting it. Right. And also putting out there the vibes that we are welcoming and accepting of everybody, and just here's something fun you can do. No strings attached. There's we're not going to be trying to push you something after the fact, or we're trying to sell you something. It's just come, have fun. That's it. Right. So
I also find that what you were talking about earlier too is very unique too, because sometimes there's always you always see the daddy dances in the schools and stuff. But the moms and daughters things, a lot of times they'll do it for maybe Mother's Day, but you've been given some opportunities out there to where the daughters and the mom have been able to get together and really kind of bond over some of the things you're doing, right?
Oh, absolutely. One of the signature workshops we have is a braid boot camp. And we've had women of all ages, but we found that a lot of mom and daughters come together and are learning to braid hair and having fun. And that's not something, I always feel like doing your child's hair is a pain point. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's never fun because you're trying to get out the door. So this was a relaxed environment where moms and daughters got to work together and learn a new skill. And it was a very relaxed environment versus tense and trying to do hair.
with you got something?
Well, I was just gonna ask him one more thing about
Go
that.
ahead, go ahead.
I always interrupt Justin, so I apologize ahead of time now. But when you guys were talking about, you guys actually had a whole new concept just came in this morning about the book swap. So to your
Yes.
point, there's those Facebook groups that are always like, oh, let's do a book club. Why don't you talk about that just a little bit? I mean, it's not even on the books yet, right?
But we're just manifesting. It's talking it into existence.
Right.
It'll be soon. So my goal with our book club and be able to do a lot of different things with books, because books are, I feel like a lot of people are getting back into reading right now with everything going on in social media. So we'd like to do something where we partner with a local coffee shop and everyone
Love
brings
that.
their favorite book. We can get like a flight of copies and have a good time and talk with one another, do an activity, and then you're able to like swap your favorite book for someone else's
That's awesome.
favorite book. And that's something we could even do with moms and daughters and have all the kids bring like their favorite chapter books and
Right.
trade. So it's not just for women like in their 20s or 30s. Like we want to bring women of all ages
Yeah.
together and empower all of the women.
I love the
Absolutely.
idea. That's
Yeah.
why I thought we should speak it into existence.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, talk to me, like, me starting a business, I know Pam starting a business, like, you have a lot of ups and downs, you have a lot of adversity. Talk a little bit about some of the adversity that you guys have been through with Bella Ballerina, or just getting the Girl Hive going. Like, what are some interesting things that you have had to go through?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I mean, in the last 13 years, there's a lot of things business-wise that I'm like, I would love to not live through that again. I
Yeah,
mean, the pandemic
absolutely.
being one of them. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest thing with every business challenge is one, if you can have somebody who's like a mentor who's maybe walked the road ahead of you, it does make it a little bit easier. So like through the franchise opportunity, that's what I hope that we're providing. You know,
Right.
we always are like,
100%. I can already tell you, 100% happens. Yeah.
yeah, so we're always trying to help our franchisees, you know, guide them in the right direction, give them all the most support and advice that we possibly can, so that they're not facing these big scary things that a lot of business owners who are truly on their own face. But the other thing is just having, like, for Girl Hive, it's just having the time to do it.
Yeah.
Because we're both already working full time on our studios and our businesses. And so starting a new venture and becoming like a multifaceted entrepreneur is like, it's challenging just because you're like, where do I put my priorities? You know, this needs attention and this needs attention. And they kind of have equal, you know, footing at this
Right.
point. So it's, you know, determining where your time is and making sure that everybody who needs your attention has it, but being really so excited about growing a new thing,
Right.
you know? So
And I think that being so excited about Girl Hive makes me, you know, like you make sure that I'm more on top of my to-do list, right? Because I really want to put my time
Right.
into Girl Hive and make sure that my studio is growing as
Yeah.
well.
This question actually was posed to me this last week because they're like, we love your podcast. Like, where are you going to go with it? And we both have real-time jobs, just so that everybody knows. Like, this
Yeah.
this was kind of like a hobby kind of thing, I would say, with Justin, right? Like, this was not like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, we were
Well-
really just doing this spotlight business help, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to, like she said, spotlight businesses. We do have our own businesses.
Yeah.
And we just figured, like, all right, if we can promote other businesses, we can also promote ourselves, and it's a win-win for both.
Yes.
100%. And I think to speak to what we were talking about the time commitment and things like that, when you have another full-time job, it's also very easy to get sucked into like the shiny ball and the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that's
Yes.
fun, and dedicate all your time to the thing that's most fun,
Yeah.
which would be this. But like the reality is you have another business that you have to run full time. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, okay, I have to do the logical thing and this is what I have to be working on, even though this thing over here seems like more fun. But speaking to your point about, you know, like doing things that are like these side projects that are really meant to uplift other people. I think that once you become somebody in the entrepreneur space and you see other entrepreneurs and especially emerging entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
you're like, let me help you.
Yeah.
Let me do
Yeah.
everything I can for you. And I think that that's a magical thing that happens in that industry of like, or with that type of person that doesn't really happen a lot of other places. You
Yeah.
don't experience, I don't think, this outpouring of support when this person has nothing to do with your
Yeah.
business,
Right.
unless you see them have gone through this adversity and want to help other people just go through that sort of you can never avoid it being a roller coaster,
Right.
but to make it a little less highs and lows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the-
more even. Yeah.
Right. And so the other thing about Girl Hive that I think is just, again, it's not something that when we talk about the concept, it's not the first and foremost thing, but all of these other local collective leaders have the opportunity to earn amazing income doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So while what we're doing in the community is like is just great for community's sake and bringing people together, it's not without, you know, financial gain as well. And so we're giving all these other local collective leaders the opportunity to do it.
Right.
But the way that they're doing it is by partnering with local businesses to get them, you know, exposure to their community, bring
Absolutely.
more business
Right.
to them. So it's just such a full circle moment where we're giving more women the opportunity to take control of their financial income
Right.
and their schedules, because it's all completely like flexible
Yeah.
work from home type stuff, giving more business owners the opportunity for
Yeah.
exposure. It's just like,
So it's just the law of sowing and reaping. If you want
Yes.
to just invest
Absolutely.
into your community,
Yes.
invest into other business, and then eventually they're going to say, well, what do you do? Let me invest
Yes.
it back
Yeah.
into
Yes.
you. You know what I mean?
yes.
And you hope it's that way, and sometimes it's not. But I feel, to the point of the reason why we're doing this, I mean, me and you in this podcast, we're connectors, right? We're connecting people. But the fear, I mean,
Yeah.
the reason that we asked you that very first question about the challenges is that people think they'll see you on the video here and be like, oh my gosh, like they just got it going on. I can't believe it, you know, I can't do that. And we're here to tell people you can.
Yeah.
And there are people here that are going to help you. I think with just reaching out on that Cream Collective, which I had no idea that, you know, 75 people or whatever respond to it, right? That people do want that exposure and want to be like, oh my gosh, they're willing to do this for us. Like, let me talk to them, right?
Absolutely.
So that was kind of, you know, nice to see that, because being in my business, it's kind of, sometimes I feel like a lot of people are so self-involved that they don't think about others.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to see how many people are like, yes, I want the exposure, you know, I want that business. So just kind of go off that a little bit. I know that I did prompt them the questions, so just so you know, they are aware of some of the questions. But you know, one of the questions I think wasn't it something about like, where'd you come from, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Besides your parents.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I actually grew up moving all over the United States.
Okay.
My dad was in banking, and we just moved all the time. And so when I was, the last place I was in, Cincinnati, Ohio, and I was looking at colleges, and I was brought down to Charlotte. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never leaving. Like, no gray skies, the sun is shining.
I was just in Cincinnati last week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you were, weren't you?
And I bet you're happy to see blue skies.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So now that I've been down here, and it's funny, a lot of people, other people that came to I went to Queen's University in Myers Park, and a lot of people would get homesick, but I did not have that fear because I was always moving and wanting a new adventure. And I think starting, like going down here away from my family, I was like, this is where I can start making my name.
Right.
And I love Charlotte. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
yeah.
What is the?
She didn't get the answer question.
Okay.
So I grew up, that's okay. I grew up in a super small town south of Buffalo, so also from New York, and lived there like my whole life.
What was the town?
Jamestown.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I got a speeding ticket there. I forgot we talked about that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a speeding ticket when they go through it.
Yeah.
But I moved from Jamestown to Erie, Pennsylvania, where I went to college, only like 45 minutes away. But that's where I met my husband. And then after college, we moved around a lot. So I've lived in 9 states throughout the course of my life.
Wow.
But we've moved to the West Coast, moved back to the East Coast. Like, so we've been all over. And I think that's part of what I can appreciate. And I think we can both appreciate just having moved so much. It's like, you're always the new girl in town.
Yeah.
My kid is always the new kid in school.
Absolutely.
And so
Yeah.
seeing how people receive you in all these different areas and trying to maneuver those opportunities to make friends, because I grew up in a town where I never had to make friends. Everybody was from there. Everybody's
Yes.
parents and grandparents were from there.
Yes.
You just knew, and like you grew up with the same set of kids. There was no making friends. It was just like, these are your friends. Because
Oh, yeah, they're your cousins, right?
yes. And you're just like forced to be with these people
Yeah.
for like literally your entire educational career. So as an adult, I was like, I'm pretty extroverted, but I still have a hard time making friends.
Yeah.
And so I think this is just like a great way for me to
I'm very
meet
excited
people.
about Girl Hive for that, because there are a lot of people that move. I mean, there's so many people moving in the area that just don't have friends.
Well, and I think that like when you move to an area and you're like, how do I make friends? You want to find like-minded people. And so I think by the way that we structure our workshops, they're, around a theme. So maybe it is a braid boot camp. Well, who do you think you're going to meet at a braid boot camp?
Right.
Or like a book club. Who do you think you're going to meet at a book? Well,
You
other
get
people who enjoy
inspiration boards,
books.
too.
So
like someone
Yeah.
like, so let's just say they don't have kids yet, because now
Right.
that they're a business owner and they want to be inspired and they want to like,
Right.
know. And I will say that by the inspiration boards, I do one virtually, but I will say there was a client that literally would put houses on the vision board,
Mhm.
and I told her they're not for sale. She's like, not every house is for sale, Pam? I'm like, no, like that house is not for sale. I will tell you she did it twice and she bought that house. Both houses.
Oh my gosh.
True.
Yeah.
So when you live in your hometown, a lot of times you feel like there's a cap on it. There's not really a cap on it, but a lot of times just growing up there, you feel like, all right, this is the most I can do here. I know that's something that I felt. And so when I moved to Charlotte 3 years ago, I was opened up to a world of like opportunity. Like, oh my gosh, there's just so much more than what I've always thought of. Did you guys experience that with your business?
Yeah, 100%. My dad had his own business, so I got to see that as a kid growing up. And I small town, small world, right? Like, and that's okay. That's just their reality. But I did feel like there was a cap even to just your success in a small town. I would often joke that in order to get a good job there, you were waiting for somebody to die to take their
I
job.
think that happened.
Yeah.
I think one of my
Because-
friends literally had the garbage truck guy, and he died, and then my friend got no for
But
real.
that's-
New opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's just like that was the only way you were going to be successful there, because there just wasn't the vibe that they were like welcoming to new business. Now I look back on the town that I grew up in, and I do see a lot of new businesses flourishing there, which is great.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like the demographics of a small town does set a cap for you.
Yeah.
It always, and there's again nothing wrong with that. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
When you move to a bigger area, you realize like the scale that you could do with. Like I never would have thought my business could be at the scale that it is now
Yeah.
because of my perspective
Right.
living in that space. It wasn't until I moved to a much larger area that I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
and you get to choose your friends, because in a small town, it's like, okay, this is my friend. This is my friend.
Okay, and also on that point, that affects the way that you think about the world too, because the people around you and the people that's that saying, like the 5 people you spend the most time with affect your worldview, right? So if the 5 people you spend the most time with are also the 5 people that also grew up in that same small town and the 5 people that will likely stay there, you will never see things any differently until you leave. And again, nothing wrong with that, but a lot of my friends have left, and so, you all kind of share those experiences that you've had and think of the world very differently. And now if I talk to even my own dad about, my business and just even what my payroll looks like every month, he's like, oh my God. Or, what you pay for rent, or in different places. I mean, it's just a different world. So 100%.
How about you?
Well, because I moved around so much and we were mostly in like big cities, but I almost feel like this translates into where I thought my cap was like my teaching career, right? And now that I've been connected with so many awesome business owners, like the limit does not exist now.
Right.
Well, it's limiting beliefs, right?
Right.
Yes.
Because what you've been told all your life, or things like that, or the way you grew up, it's like, okay. And some people are like, hey, my dad was a doctor, I have to be a doctor, or my dad was in the military, I was in the military, right? So it's kind of those things. It's like, I'm pretty sure nobody knew what to expect from me. So I think I had the whole entire world, because there's like, I just pray Pam does something, right?
Yeah.
But for other people, there's this, hey, this is what they're going to be. This is how, they've got their life planned out. And to your point of the friends, I love being in a new place, picking up, meeting new people and be inspired.
Right.
I think that's like, every day I am charged, like I am so charged. Even when we all talk, I don't know if you remember that now, I was just like, I know this is your business, but man, you just light up when you talk about Girl Hive. And it's just like, we've got to get this on film.
Well, and I think that the other thing is like, even if you move to a bigger area, or you move outside of your hometown, you can still maintain those friendships. My best friends are still the girls that I literally went to preschool with.
Yeah.
And we are on a text thread, and they are the people that I depend on, and I know if something were to happen, they would be the ones to come. Not really the people that I've met, along the way. Very few.
Right.
And I always joke that I call them bedroom friends, because I mean, Lauren is my bedroom friend, not in a weird way, but just like you don't as an adult make other bedroom friends. And what I mean by that is like your friends from elementary school that you are still friends with now, and only your best friends from your adult life are the ones who, when you're at your house, they have no problem walking into your bedroom, laying on your bed, having a conversation, going into your closet. You don't have many friends like that you meet as adults.
Well, even to your point, when you see them, like you might not see them for even 2 years just because of life thing, right?
Yes.
And the minute they show up, it's like,
You pick up where you left
pick up
off.
right where you're
So the goal of Girl Hive is to give you bedroom friends.
Yes,
We
we're here for it.
You want more bedroom
Exactly.
friends?
Yes.
It's confusing,
We'll
but
try
it's
to see how
not.
that goes for the SEO.
Yeah.
We're not going to have it listed on the website.
No.
It's fine.
So what's next for you guys? I know you guys are gonna keep growing the Girl Hive, but talk about like near future, long-term future for the company.
Yeah, so near future, we're definitely, like I said, we're launching in 11 other states, which is really exciting.
Wow.
So we're getting what we have going here, going in all these different places. And the goal is just to continue to grow that so that our local collectives, other places, just get this amazing magic thing that's happening here. But then what we'll continue to work on after that is a little bit bigger things like retreats that will happen, and we can invite people from all the
Vacation?
collectives. Yeah, man.
Vacation.
Go on
Yes.
vacation with your girlfriends.
And
That's
you
the
just
best
put me
thing.
in. Just-
Yes.
Just sign you up.
Absolutely.
Sign me up.
Yes.
All the things.
Automatic.
But the retreats will also be themed, much like everything that we do. So it might be a book themed retreat, or a mother daughter retreat, or a business owner retreat. So you'll be going with a purpose in mind. And again, it's just a way to connect with people on a deeper level. When you spend a weekend with people you don't necessarily know, you can be like magic comes out of that if it's
Oh,
facilitated
absolutely.
right. So yeah, Lauren's starting like a national book club.
So that'll lead to some fun book retreats.
Yeah.
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 That's awesome.
We've got a whole merch line of fun stuff. So there's a lot that'll kind of
guys are killing
just
it.
progress.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
So, to my questions that I pre-gamed. So, what is the best compliment that you guys have received individually?
You do it.
I've been complimented. People say that my energy is infectious. And I just think that's so sweet. Like it's
Makes
not
you
something
feel
I,
good because it feels like you're kind of giving that positive vibe. When
yeah, because I do get really excited for people, especially when they're starting a new business. So,
Yeah. Well, what's yours?
I would say, so I think it kind of goes in, I've always been complimented on my laugh and kind of like the ability to like laugh through hard situations and
Yes.
hard times. And
Yeah.
I've had a really rough year, but like I'm still finding ways to laugh and have fun
Yeah.
and do all the things and just focus on what makes me happy. And when I laugh,
yes,
I'm happy. Yeah.
100% accurate. Lauren's the
The-
happiest, most resilient person that I have ever met in my entire life.
Well, I like that you say that because one of my goals this year was to have a better work-life balance.
Oh.
Everybody just assumes I'm always working. Oh, like I'll even hear my husband say, they're like, what's? Oh yeah, she's working. We're at dinner. Yeah, she probably got a call. We went here. She's doing this. And I love real estate, so it's a lifestyle, so I don't want everyone to give that up. But sometimes it's just nice to break away and have that balance. And to your point, like, work is hard, but just get to laugh and kind of just...
You gotta have balance.
Yeah, because, stress is cancer stress, so it's like you don't want that. And so what you guys are doing, I mean, that you really are kind of creating a light for people where you don't know where they're coming from and giving them that positive laughter and the energy that they can count.
Oh,
so I like
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah. So one of my last questions, Justin, because I don't talk that often, is what do you guys do around Charlotte for fun?
I like to go check out new restaurants because we've lived so many different places, and I realize there's like some really good finds. So we always try and go find new restaurants. If somebody would open more restaurants in Lake Wiley, I would kiss them on the mouth.
You will be a bedroom friend.
Like you will be an automatic bedroom friend if you open a restaurant. I realize there's obstacles to that and a serious lack of commercial space, but we like to go check out like new restaurants, just fun things to do.
I forgot you're Lake Wiley because I'm in South Charlotte and like it is on. Like there's always something new.
I know,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And
when I come to you, they like the bagel boat. I'm like, the bagel boat.
Well, it's funny because we're in a weird spot. Like there's some really cool places that are opening in Clover, and I love to support local business, so we'll drive to Clover, but like downtown Clover is like 25 minutes away from me, so I could drive 25 minutes in the opposite direction and be on the other side of Fort Mill or in like South End.
You're going across the bridge.
So I'm like, you're competing with everybody, because for me, I'm like,
that's interesting.
I live up in Huntersville, so I spend a lot of my time in Birkdale Village, and they've just renovated and put all of these restaurants. And I have a 4-year-old, and there's like this big open play area,
yeah.
and like it's open container, so like you can go grab a drink at
She
Bar
means
Taco.
Open waters, that liquid water they're selling. That's
Yes,
what I'm talking about.
yes, and just bring it out and like have a nice time. And then I also really like going to the Whitewater Center
Love the
because
Whitewater.
I'm not very adventurous, but I love to people watch, and that is like the best
Oh my
place
God, you're
to
talking
people watch.
about that,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here thinking like I remember eating a salad there, watching them all fall off. And
Yes,
laughing.
it's the
Yes.
best. And like all you do is have to pay for parking so like get the annual pass.
I was prepared to
yeah.
just say, oh, I do this, and this. You're like, no, I like them trash.
Yep. I was like, you know what, they are so brave and I'm not brave enough, but it's a great time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's awesome. So, going forward, like, what's the main thing right now that you want the audience to know about you guys that, that we haven't talked about, I guess?
I mean, I guess just that, if you see events, I mean, ours or anybody else's really, but like if you see events out there that are happening and you're new to an area or you're like struggling to find friendships, meaningful friendships, like don't be afraid to go to them.
Yeah.
Go,
You
just
will get
go.
hugged.
You'll probably get hugged if it's one of mine, but like just go because you really have nothing to lose.
Absolutely.
Either, like putting yourself out there is hard. I get it. But what's the worst that can happen? You go and you're like, that wasn't for me. And so you just never go again.
Yeah.
Like cool. But like if you find something that's like Lauren was saying, we have things that are book themed or, like we have themes to all of ours. So find something that works for you think you would enjoy.
Right.
Yeah.
I promise you, like there's a 95% chance you're gonna have a good time.
Oh yeah. And our tagline is all the things for all the girlies.
Yeah.
So there's going to be an event that is geared towards something that you're interested in. So maybe not every event, but it's going to be such a large variety that everyone will be able to benefit and have fun.
Awesome.
So yours is here, and technically it's Tega of Fort Mill.
This location's here. It's actually franchise owned. So there's another owner of this space.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then yours is up in Huntersville, right?
Yes. Yep. Up in the Highland Creek area. So in the Charlotte area, we have 3 Bella Ballerina studios. I own the one up in Huntersville. Another franchise
You
owner.
said Highland Creek too.
Yes, Highland Creek. We're right on the edge of like Huntersville and Charlotte. And then there's an owner for Fort Mill, and then we have an owner in Rock Hill, and all of us work really well together to help promote all of our studios because Charlotte is so big and people know each other. Even though it's big, it's so small. Everyone knows everybody. So if there's someone that comes to my studio that their sister-in-law lives in Fort Mill, we have a space for them. And it just shows another way that with the franchise, working with the other owners, like we're always working together to help build each other up. And that's just so powerful, and you don't feel alone in your business.
Well, I really appreciate you guys being with us today. Thanks for hosting us in your beautiful facility here. So if you guys want to support these beautiful ballerinas, owners, and girl bosses, we'll make sure they have links down there for you to check them out. And Girl Hive, I'm going to be there. You should be there too. I'm super excited about what they're doing. And it's so empowering. So I just want to thank you guys for putting that together for all of us.
Absolutely. And we'll have some links at the bottom of this video. Click the link below to if you want to book them, if you want to be a part of the Girl Hive, if you want to book your daughter for Bella Ballerina. Click the
I'm
link
going to
below.
book Justin.
I won't be there. I won't be there. But we definitely thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. We really hope your business grows from people watching this podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Local podcast with Pam.
Oh, I'm Pam.
And
You're
I'm
Justin. You're Justin.
Yep, I'm Justin. Definitely subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff. Share our videos, boost the algorithms up so that we can make this even bigger in the city of Charlotte. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Good stuff.